Hello everyone, welcome to the first race of the qualifying session of the 2016 CGP2 series season. We've had a long off season for CGP2, but we are back. And for the first time this year in actually any session apart from a test session, I do have James Carwin with me.
Hello everybody and welcome to the first CGP2 qualifying session of the year, where we should see where everyone stands as we start a new season with a lot of new drivers. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we do have quite a few new drivers this year, don't we? But
yep,
quite a few drivers coming back as well, don't we? We have quite a mixture of drivers, but it is. I mean, we had so many drivers getting promoted to CRC last year. But I think we have a very strong field this year. I think we have a field that's at least as strong as we had last year. And last year we had a very strong field, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a very good field last year. And this season, as you said, won't be too different from that very strong field again.
Yeah. We have quite a few drivers. We've got quite a few CGP3 graduates coming up. We have quite a few KSR Formula 3 graduates. We even have a KSR iRacing or Kids Sim Racing iRacing graduate in the field as well. But quite some grid that we have, don't we? And the grid's been increased to 28 cars with the introduction of SBN Junior coming into the series. But we do still have the 13 teams that we had last year, don't we?
Yeah, they've all remained for another year, but with quite changed lineups. A lot of them changing their plans up, but the same teams.
Yeah, I think we could be in for a fascinating season this year in CGP2. But we've got 2 minutes to go till the session gets underway here in CGP2. But we're now going to run, before we get underway, we won't start the session till this happens. We will probably talk about this, but we've got quite a few new drivers coming in. Firstly, we have KSR Formula 3 champion Connie Campbell coming in to the Amlin Fox. Rosie O'Driscoll, exactly the same situation last year, and look where she is now. How do you think that bodes for Connie?
Yeah, it's good for Connie, and obviously there's practice sessions that she's getting in CRC as well.
She didn't get one today because of issues.
Yeah.
But
top team won it last year. Good opportunity.
We are about to be underway. We got the countdown. This session is underway. The session's underway. Sorry, we kind of rushed a little bit there. But Connie Campbell, what do you think her expectations for this season is going to be? We have one of the eBay cars coming out onto the track first. What do you think Connie Campbell's expectation for this year is going to be?
I think she's going to try and aim for the championship. Obviously, Rosie O'Driscoll last year almost won it coming up from Formula 3, so there's a good opportunity.
She did win it last year with Connie.
Yeah, I mean, Rosie O'Driscoll was runner-up in Formula 3.
No, she won it, I think.
No, Rosie...
I thought Rosie won
was
it.
champion last year.
I mean, I'm talking about Formula 3, not CGP2.
Oh, well, I was talking about CGP2. Never mind. Yeah, so I reckon she'll win the championship. One step better than O'Driscoll did.
Need to remove a few scenes just to get the high encodings away. But it could be an interesting season, couldn't it? I think I'm actually going to share the other screen. I may need you to do the Twitter feed for this. I'm actually going to share the other screen rather than this one because it's lagging a little bit. I'm going to share the OBS screen. But yeah, that's better. But here you're looking at Catherine Missile. She had quite a strong season last year, didn't she?
Yeah, obviously coming in around mid-season, maybe just after that. She had a few good races, so I think she'll be trying to put a whole season together this year and seeing where it puts her.
I may need to use through the Twitter feed on the CGP2 account because I don't have it on my iPad. But as here you're looking at Catherine Missile heading into this corner. The tyres should be able to do one flying lap around here. And also, CGP2 champion, 3 champion getting promoted. How do you think that's going to bode?
Yeah, obviously it's quite a big change going from the CGP3 cars to the CGP2 cars, but once again he's going to be able to have a smooth transition and be competitive straight away at the front of the field. And he's got an early start to the season with a bit of Formula E that he's been doing recently. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I think he'll do quite well.
Yeah. And the thing about the other, Naran Yesufu also making his way onto the CGP2 grid as well. Do you think that had he done the whole season, the championship in CGP3 would have been a whole lot different? Had he done the whole season?
Yeah, I think so. I think he probably would have won it, but let's take into consideration that Jeffries had a few DNFs that weren't his fault through engine failure, but Yusufu, even though he came in late, he actually kind of lost out on just as many points as Jeffries did through Jeffries getting failures and Yusufu not. So, I don't know. To be honest, I think Jeffries deserved the championship.
Yeah, speaking of Jeffries, Jeffries is currently on top in his... And you may notice, DRS is visible on the cars this year. You may notice, which is good. We can actually see when a driver's got DRS. In Reece Jeffries in a very different looking Casey Jr. racing car that he has, isn't it?
Yeah, they reversed the colours. Swapped.
Joshua Sutil goes up into second place. He could be quite competitive this year. And also another driver who's making her debut in CGP2 after the KSL from Renault, Jessie Jane McPolman. She had quite a lot of critics last year, didn't she? Regarding saying that she's too young to drive. How do you think that's affected her going into this season? Now that she's in CRC's main feeder series.
Yeah, well, I think she's proved everyone wrong, so I don't think she'll have too many worries about that anymore. And neither should the fans. She had a good season in Formula Renault. There's no reason why she can't make this step up. The cars are a little bit quicker, but the Formula Renault cars aren't exactly miles off, so
now
she'll be ready.
So, and here's the other rookie, James Chandler. I said his name right this time because obviously there's a George Chandler. He's completely unrelated. Highly rated by the Dork team, but also came from iRacing. This is quite a transition for him, isn't it? He was in iRacing last year, and now he's moved up to the top of KSR Racing. How do you think that transition's going to work for him this year?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. See how he does.
Obviously, in that distinctively liveried Power Max car. Last year they had that black and yellow car, but this year it's all changed. It's white as the base colour with black and yellow as the other colour. It's a really nice looking car, isn't it?
Yeah.
As Jessie Jane McParland now goes to the top in the racing factory. Owen Cutler goes up into third. Obviously the track is starting to rubber in a little bit. We've not really got any surprise. I think Connie Campbell got a little bit held up on her lap. But that's about it in terms of the shots. But it is a very genuinely competitive field that we have. That's not Benny Platt, that's Marco Efos. That's a bit of a glitch. Sorry about that. That can't be sorted out. That's Marco Efos. So when it says Benny Platt, it says Marco Efos. who clearly got held up on his lap. Now here's Grace Wilkinson, who I think many believe go into this season as the championship favourite. Do you think she goes into the season as championship favourite?
Yeah, it's quite a tough one. I think it'll be... I mean, she's obviously one who's been in the series, not coming up. A lot of the people we've been talking about so far have been coming up. She's got half a season under her belt.
And she really made a name for herself in that half season, didn't she?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes, whether she's able to get closer to the more experienced drivers like Bayliss, and whether she's able to outpace all these young guns. But yeah, she's going to be definitely up there.
So I can't see. I may need you to look at the live timing, so I can't see how fast that she is on this current lap. But we are about to see, because she's about to cross the line. So Grace Wilkinson crosses the line to go only 8th. That's a bit surprising. But it is a very close field, and she will have a few more attempts. But it's at the moment Jessie Jane McParland who currently holds the top spot. At the moment, you don't really have too many surprises in the top. I think Sutil you wouldn't is a bit higher than expected, but not really any surprises at the moment, really, is there? If here we're looking at Jade Oaks, how do you rate the season that she had last year? Jade Oaks had
pretty up and down, wasn't it? Most weeks she was struggling, and then good weekends spring to mind, like Valencia, where she seems to be right up there. So she's just got to be more consistent this year, make sure she's got pace at more races.
Riding on board with Jade Oaks, that's a really distinctive livery the Power Max has, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really recognisable.
It's quite nice how they've done the yellow looking like a splatter there, the paint on the front.
Yeah.
And nose.
As kind of based around the BTCC Power Max car, I'm pretty sure. As Jade now is about to cross the line. Let's see what time she is about to do. She only goes 18th with that, but she will have a few more laps. At the moment, in the first stage, not seen the best of the two. I'm pretty sure, as here comes Tom Saville, we've not seen the best of the two Amlin Foxes yet, have we?
No, they're yet to really lay down a mark. I'm sure that that's not where they genuinely are.
Of course, the track is rubbering in now. But at the moment, Jessie Jane McParland holds pole position in the racing factory. Very different colour scheme on that racing factory as well this year, isn't it? The way they've gone for white and red.
Yeah, I think it's a tad bit duller, but it still looks quite nice. Nice and neat.
So now, what about Tom Saville? He had a terrible year last year. After such a strong 2014, he had a terrible year last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he was awful.
But I guess he'll be wanting to bounce back this year. His teammate Joe Bunting is up there in 6th place. Interesting to see the two CGP3 top 2 from last year are currently 2nd and 5th. So they're up there immediately. The likes of Reese Jeffries and Niran Yusufu.
Yeah, it's settling in really quickly.
Of course, they had 4 hours to test the car yesterday around this track, of course, with the new rules, which means that we have a single CGP2 race tomorrow rather than having 2 races, or not tomorrow, Saturday, rather than having 2 CGP races. Here comes Tom Saville to cross the line, only 24th. We're just waiting to see the likes, some of the faster guys and girls coming out again. The likes of Ethos. Ethos has just come out on track. It's not Benny Plutt, it's Marco Ethos. It just says that on the thing. Made a bit of a mistake, and I can't sort it out during the stream. I'll sort it out for tomorrow and Saturday. I mean, there'll probably be a glitch with Benny Plutt's name, and maybe Benny Plutt will show us Marco Ethos in CGP3. The SBN looks very much like the SBN in CRC, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've pretty much copied the design straight over.
Of course.
It's quite hard to tell, actually, from some views, which car it is. It being so similar.
Of course, Marco Evos, who did drive in practice earlier, he was quite impressive towards the back end of last year, wasn't he?
Yeah. He kind of, his first weekend wasn't great, but that USA weekend was a really strong one for him.
The car ahead, I'm not sure who that is, one of the Power Max. It's 22, I think that's it. I think Jade Oaks is still on track, so she'll probably be pitting at the end of this lap. Jade Oaks. Yeah, Jade Oaks just goes into the pits. Now what Marco's going to have to hope is that no one exits the pits and scuppers this lap, which no one does. So he is going to get this lap. And almost one of the Casey cars and one of the and that would have been Chandler in the Power Max because Jade has just gone into the pits. Almost scuppered his lap. So let's see where Evos is going to go. I think he's one of the championship favourites for this year. So now in the first sector, we're not sure where he lost the time on his lap. So I think this is where the timing beam is. It's a little bit up, but it's the second sector. And I saw he was ahead of the car, so it might have been the second sector where Marco lost all the time. So let's see what his second sector is going to be like. He's someone we should expect to be a championship contender. It's looking fairly good so far, isn't it, for Marco?
Yeah. Looking like a good, clean lap so far. Tough balls coming up here though that he's got to nail if he's going to keep it up.
It's this part which is probably the most... I mean, I've driven this track, so obviously I'm racing in an FSR race next week. The FSR AMA. It's a bit down, so it must have been the last sector where he lost all the time. But it is very hard to see the corner entry going into that corner. So across the line goes Marco Evos. Didn't improve. That's strange. Didn't see anything. Maybe there's a problem with the car or something like that. I didn't see anything wrong with that lap.
Or maybe that is his genuine pace around this track. Maybe he's just struggling a little bit.
So here you're looking at Connie Campbell. We should expect an improvement from her. I mean, apart from that, there's not really any surprising. Bayliss down there in 20th. Quinn Bayliss, you'd expect him to be a bit higher than that. I'm not sure I'm just checking how many people have actually set times. Jack Miller is the only driver yet to set a time in the D-Tech. He's just about to set one now. He only goes 25th as well. Maybe the track temperatures have gone down. Now here looking at Connie Campbell, who's improved on her previous lap, but that did not look good. Someone else has improved. I think that's James Lewington. The Amiens Fox obviously in the same livery as they had last year, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly the same. But it's quite nice. So
of course, Manic Motorsports now in CRC. So at the moment, your top 10 is McParlin, Jeffries, Cutler, Sutil, Yasufu, Bunting, as here comes Reese Jeffries. He has just finished a lap, he couldn't improve. Grace Wilkinson, I think, starting a lap in the Casey Junior racing car. Connie Campbell is improving. She's kind of in a more legitimate position that you'd expect her to be. There's Connie Campbell about to cross the line in her Amiens Fox. She improves, but not enough to improve her position. Dan Dolan up there in 11th. Still waiting to see Quinn Bayless out again. Let's have a look at Grace Wilkinson. 10th down at the moment. I think track temperatures have genuinely gone down a little bit. Because people are struggling to improve at the moment. But hopefully we will see some improvements towards the end. Quinn Bayless going out on track. Let's have a look if Quinn Bayless was held up in his earlier lap. Yeah, he was held up in his earlier lap, was Quinn. So that explains why he's down there. Let's have also talk about, and now it looks like he might be held up again if he's going to exit behind the Silver Speed. Let's have a look at Eforz's lap. His first lap. Yeah, he's just struggling for some reason, Marco Eforz. Not sure what the explanation for that is. Must be a problem with the car, because his pace earlier in the week when he was doing the testing looked very good. So he's going to have to really put it together in the last lap, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a pressure on him. So, pull a lap out the bag. He's going to be starting right down the grid.
You see, Quinn Bayless is going to have to clear this Silver Speed as soon as he possibly can if he wants to get this clean. If he wants, it might be his last chance with only 11 minutes to go. Grace Wilkinson, I've just noticed, has improved up into 6th place. But with only one race this weekend, how do you think that's going to affect the driver's mentality going into the races?
It'll just, I guess, people won't be backing off trying to get a good position for the next day. It'll just be thoroughly on that race, which I think is better to be honest.
And I don't think Quinn Bayless is going to get this lap because he's now going to... Unless he can somehow pass the Silver Speed into turn 1, which is not doing the correct right line to do so. Oh, contact with Koromoro. Just checking if there's anyone else improving at the moment. Not at the moment. As Jeffrey's got both of the Casey cars in single formation entering pits. But it's starting to look good for Jessie Jane McParland, isn't it?
Yep.
In her first session in CGP2. Here you're looking at Catherine Missau. She's down there in 21st. She'd expect a little bit better, especially as her teammates up there in 13th. Catherine Missau did show some impressive pace last year in the eBay car. Running the same livery this year as they did last year. As Missile heads into turn 12, up to turn 13. Let's see how quick this lap is. It's down. Quinn is really stuck. Oh, that could, I mean, that could of course help him for his next lap, but the tyres surely are going to go. Had he done that last lap, that would have helped him, wouldn't it?
Yeah. He will try another lap now, but I don't think it's really going to work for him.
20th would be awful for him on the grid.
Yeah, but he's got a longer race to recover that gap, but he hasn't got a reverse grid or anything to hope on now, so it's going to be an uphill struggle.
Perfection will be, if it stays as it is, will be disappointed with 22nd and 23rd, Byron Daly. As here comes Bayliss. So it's McParland who's really looking good at the moment. Of course, still actually a Casey Jr., but at Racing Factory she was loaned out participate in this series. She was originally going to be in CGP3 before Casey Junior Racing loaned her out. Oh, Bayliss is improving, but is he actually going to risk just getting this lap in, or is he going to pit?
I think he'll probably finish it. He needs to get somewhere up the grid. He can't risk the same thing
It's
happening
obviously,
again.
let's see what he's going to do. He's going to finish the lap. Let's see where this is going to put Quinn Bayliss. It puts him only 17th, but
He lost
on
on
worn
the
tyres, I think the tyres went.
front. 17th's really no better than 20th.
Now,
Still with
here's
that.
Ethos. He's going to be on his final lap of the session. He's really got to nail this one, hasn't he?
Yeah, under a lot of pressure. But I just don't think he's got the pace. He's going to have to find something extra to move up the field here.
Crosses the line. It's not Benny Plus, it is Marco Ethos. If D-Man turns on right now, he'd be like, why is Benny Plutt racing in the SBM Junior? I'd put him at my team. But it's a glitch, it's really Marco Ethos. He's up on his previous best. Down there in 26th, not where you'd expect him to be. Kind of better than previous laps in new turn 10. It's now up towards turn 12. But he is still down. He's going to really have to nail this final sector. That looks good. But it is such a competitive field that we have. And just look at how close the midfield group is. And the group from 6th to 10th particularly. No improvement. He's going to be down there. Someone else has improved. From below.
Yeah, that's awful.
But you can see it is a very... The whole field only separated by 1.3. So that is a very competitive field that we have. But Jesse Jane has quite a big gap. But let's see what Owen Cutler can do in his MAT. Jessie has quite a big gap up front, hasn't she?
Yeah.
It's all looking good for her. And of course, you can expect... She's been someone, I think she could be a dark horse this year. She's been someone people haven't really been expecting to be a champion contender, but she was second in KSR Formula Renault last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if she does take a few race wins this year.
And obviously it's good signs if she's coming straight away. Good signs for this man, Owen Cutler, that last year he was able to battle with Jess a few tracks. So it's good signs for this
Let's
series.
see, it's the final battle for pole. Sutil's being held up. Niran Yesufu has equalled his previous best. Let's see what Yesufu can do in his first race in the series. Heading into turn 10. That did not look the best. I think that may have blown the lap, to be honest. Down the second of the DRS zone. That letterbox wide open. Up towards turn 12. That looks good. That could have made that time back up. But now coming up to the timing beam. Let's see where he is. He's slightly down, but he can make that up in the final sector. Yesufu. Is he going to have a shot of pole in the D-Tech? That looks good. Doesn't take too much out of that curve. Really threw his nose at the corner there. He goes up to 4th ahead of Joshua Sutil. Owen Cutler is a 10th down on his previous best in the first sector. But let's see what he can do in the second sector. He's really down. Oh dear. But Jeffries is on a lap. 3/10 down. It's not going to be enough. Oh, there's a bit of an instant ahead. Wilkinson starts her lap. Not sure how long she's been out on track. I think she is the last person that could possibly take the fight to Jessie Jane McParland. That looks very good, but there is traffic ahead. That's the problem that she has. There's the eBay ahead that she is catching fast. It could possibly take her off pole, but she is down in the first sector. Look at how slow that is gonna, and now that's the lap gone. There goes that lap. Bunting finishing a lap. I think it looks like pole might go to Jessie here. Bayliss, I think he might have left it too late to go out. He might be forced to pit. Chandler's on the lap, but it's 2/10 down. Wilkinson, let's have a look at what her second sector's like. No, that's the lap gone. It's all looking good for Jessie Jane McParland in her first CGP2 session. I don't think there is anyone else who can possibly do it. I think that's it. It looks like it is Jessie Jane McParland who has taken the first CGP2 pole position of the season. Great start to the season for her, isn't it?
Yeah. Still 1 minute to go, but no one's going to improve as we've seen. So yeah, fantastic stuff for her.
Cora Morrow's on a better lap, but she's not going to get pole, is she? Hope Quinn Bayliss will be allowed to finish his lap. I quite highly doubt it. Bad qualifying for Jack Miller. Looks like he's going to be down there. A lot lower than you'd expect him to be. Yeah, Cora Morris lost time. So will Quinn, I doubt Quinn Bayliss will be able to finish the lap. I think this looks like it might be it. I think we do have our grid for tomorrow's race. Well, not tomorrow, Saturday's race. The only possible change, which I think the chances of happening are very small, Quinn Bayliss. Because he'll probably be forced to pit. And there's quite a few cars ahead. That's a D-Tech and a Power Max, I think. No, it's two. And now that lap is gone anyway. Lap's gone anyway, so that's it. It is Jessie who's on pole. Wow, great start to the season for the Racing Factory, isn't it? She has really been putting so much into this season, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She has been practicing a lot. Bayliss was actually allowed to finish that lap. So had he not been held up, he could have had a shot of pole.
Yeah, I don't know why they were going so slowly ahead of him.
But that is it. It is Jessie on pole position. She has taken the first pole of the year in CGP2. Well, what can you say? Do you think that's a surprise?
Yeah, I am surprised about that. I'm surprised about the top three, really. Three new drivers.
Well, Cutler was
coming
in 2013 and 2014 for a bit.
Yeah.
Yasufu starting in 4th. 3 of the top 4 CGP3 and Formula Renault graduates. Sutil takes 5th. Marco Efos, I'm not sure what happened because he probably expects to be a championship contender. But that is it for CGP2 qualifying.
Maybe Ifos got mugged in the changing room and Benny Plutt was indeed driving.
Yeah. But what an interesting qualifying session that we just had. Of course, coming up soon after this, we do have the CGP3 qualifying session, which is going to be interesting, isn't it?
Yep. And this series is quite a lot of new drivers completely to the series that we haven't seen previously. So yeah, that will be interesting.
Yeah. So who do you think is going to win on Saturday in the CGP2 race?
Well, I think it's going to be Jeffries. I think. I mean, it's a tough one to call because McParlin was really good today, but I don't know. I've got a feeling it'll be Jeffries.
So it's Jessie Jane McParlin. What a result for her. She will be delighted with that. To have taken the first youngest driver easily the youngest driver in the field. And she had quite a big margin as well, didn't she? 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, when the field is only covered by 1.3, that is a massive gap, really.
Yeah. So I think we could have a really close race tomorrow. Any shocks, do you think, down there? Other than Efos and Bayliss?
Not really, I don't think that's kind of expected. I guess maybe Callum Weir did a little bit better than I thought he would.
Yeah, I think maybe we should expect Jade Oakes and Catherine Missau to go a bit better. And Jack Miller, but not really. Connie Campbell, I think, could have done a bit better. James Chandler has had the fastest in the speed trap. Yeah. It's so close, but in the end, oh, it's not George! God's sake! I thought I was going to go through the whole session without calling him George. But somehow I almost managed up until then. Fail. Anyway, that is it from CGP2. And we'll see you in a few minutes' time for the CGP3 qualifying session. Goodbye.